Silverstone National plays host to round 3 of the TNR Touring Car Championship of 2022. This is race 7 of the season, and 3 random grid races in prospect today, and in testing at least, all 4 car types, whether that comes from Vauxhall, BMW, Renault or Mercedes, were all very close on lap times. So we're potentially in for quite a thriller here around what is a bit of a speed triangle with 3 medium length straights separated by some technical sections. We've got Mark on random grid pole position in the Vauxhall Astra to the right of the screen there for his first pole, I think, of this season. Dave alongside the BMW. Lee lines up third in his Mercedes. Oz fourth in his Renault. Sam fifth in his Renault. And then we've got Tom lining up 6th in his Mercedes. This is only his 2nd round so far this season because he set out Brands Hatch Indy. Dukes, Craig 7th in his BMW with Graham in 8th in his Renault. We've got Dom 9th also in Renault, Dubs 10th in Renault. 11th is Andy in the Astra as well, and Martin rounds out the starters in his BMW. So it's all looking towards the front of the grid to see who gets the best start. We've got the BMW to the left, the Vauxhall to the right. Rear wheel drive of the BMW often gives an advantage, but it doesn't always happen. This time it looks like Davey's going to get ahead as they come in towards turn 1. I think he's just got ahead of Mark. Yep, the BMW leads just ahead of the Astra. And as we come down, it's Lee and Mark actually inside. He cut quickly enough, and there's cars off in the background. You can see Oz is off, and there's Dukes off in a big way in his BMW. We saw Oz off, we saw Dubs off, and Dom involved in that in the blue and yellow Renault. And that means safety car is brought out immediately. The BMW brings everything to a standstill as the rest of the cars try and catch up. Now, let's try and get a grip of the order. So it's Dave's BMW ahead of Lee's Mercedes, ahead of Mark's Vauxhall. So the Vauxhall dropping 3 places, the Astra from the start there. Then we've got a car from the background. Douglas is off again in the gravel in the background. I think the cars are getting ready for the race. Graham's up to 5th already. Multiple champion Graham, don't forget that. And as we head round the final turn, the BMW's on and off the brakes. When's he going to go? He's gone. And he's going to try and utilise the straight line speed of the BMW as we head down towards Copse Corner. Just going through Luffield there, and then we go across the line, then down towards Copse. And behind those guys, so the BMW and the Mercedes have got away well. It's actually Mark under a bit of pressure from Tom's Renault, and 2 Renaults fighting it out because you've got Graham and almost side by side as we come down to the Maggot Speckett sequence. There's Graham in the green car, goes in a little bit deep. Tom gets a nice tight line through the corner and exits out onto the Wellington straight well, and out in front Lee's really trying to put Dave under pressure for the lead, but close enough for straight line speed. The BMW pulling him clear, but further back I think that was Dubs almost having a go at Andy, not quite close enough this time, but it's close throughout between all the car types. All cars running well here. The Astra is probably the slowest in a straight line, but it's good on the brakes, and those boys are perfecting it nicely. You can see with Mark just running 3rd place at the moment in his Astra, but again under pressure from Tom, who makes himself known, makes his presence known, goes right and left a little bit just to make sure that Mark's looking in his mirrors, but that's not going to scare Mark very easily. Mark is a multiple winner and a multiple champion in many different disciplines, and a fine touring car driver. Just a little bit further back there's Graham under pressure from Sam now, so perhaps a slight mistake from Graham. Didn't quite see what happened, but Sam is so close, he's trying to tow him. Is he going to outbrake him as they come to the end of the Wellington straight? It's not happening this time, and it's all getting feisty just ahead because the BMW is not breaking away from the Merc. Richard Dern can't break away from the Astra, and the Astra goes wide, coming out the final turn, looking for a good exit. There's Tom in some trouble perhaps there. Tom going a bit slowly, don't know if that was a track limits infringement potentially. He's back up to speed again, so we're back underway, and it definitely is battle on over, well, really over the lead, because the top 5 are all so close. So that's from Dave to Sam. All 5 of these boys breaking away a little bit at the moment, courtesy of Tom's presumably track limits infringement, and coming out onto the Wellington Straight yet again. Graham is the man. You look up the word champion in the dictionary and you will find Graham as a synonym. Try and get that out quickly. And there is Mark trying to have a go at the end of the Wellington Straight on the back of Mercedes. Can't quite do it, not this time around. And I think we're going to go on board with Mark because he's looking nice and feisty. And we'll see what the Astra man can do up against the Mercedes. And, well, it's not close enough out there. Again, Mark going quite wide on the exit. He's obviously using that as a way to try and get a different line than Lee. But so far, it's not helping his cause. And just behind you, see Graham getting very, very close in the green. Oh, in fact, we've got Sam actually got really, really close to the back of Graham there, but decided better of it. And it is still really close. It's really actually the battle is perhaps hottest over 3rd place at the moment, with Graham right on the case of Mark. And as they come down the end of the Wellington Straight, still Mark's got the position over the McGann of Graham. And now really the McGann is quite potent in the straights around here, and it's certainly not shabby in the corners, but Mark seems to be driving so well with the Astra that he's exiting the corners quite well, and giving himself an opportunity to defend come the end of the straight. And that's what he's doing lap after lap at the moment, absorbing all this pressure from Graham. Now we're going down onto the brakes again. That's where the Astra's quite good, is on the brakes. Despite its weight, it's very stable on the brakes, but Graham's got a better exit than perhaps he's had for a while in comparison. And this could be the opportunity that he needs. He's going to look to the left, but Mark again really good on the brakes. In fact, so good on the brakes, he runs into the back of Lee, makes a big mistake. Now Graham's going to try and have a go. Graham can't quite get through though. There was a gap very, very briefly, but it very quickly closed, and all was fair there. But I think Mark was so busy trying to defend from Graham that he hadn't really seen what was going on just behind. Now further back you can see Sam just tagging onto this top 5 group, and there's Tom and Dom. Andy is 8th in his Astra at the moment, so he's made a little bit of progress off the line, whilst Martin's come from 12th up to 9th so far in the BMW. Oz involved in that incident on the first lap, and Dukes also was out on the gravel, and Dubs are unfortunately all running towards the back this time. Looking at lap times last time around, I think it was Lee quickest of the lead bunch, but it's all pretty close, with the top 6 cars setting very, very similar lap times, either high 58s or low 59s. In fact top 7, because I think Dom is actually the man on the move at the moment, the 58.4. The battle is still on over second. Dave just breaking away a little bit with BMW. The BMW guys obviously takes a little longer just to get the tyre pressures and the tyre temperatures up, and then the car settles down a little bit, so it's just stretching his legs a little bit now. But the BMW boy is saying that it's difficult to get the car off the line. You either seem to have a rocket ship start, or you pretty much stall. So it'll be interesting to see how the other 2 races pan out for those guys. I think all 3 BMW guys got good starts in that race, in the start of this race rather. And again, Graham trying to get close to Mark. Is he close enough this time? He almost looks closer, but Mark is so good on the brakes, isn't he? Just absolutely darts it to the left. And now Graham's going to try and go around the outside. They're touching, wheels banging. It's all fair so far. A little bit of rough and tumble, but nothing unfair at all. Great driving by both of those boys. Not pushing each other off the track, not just yet anyway. And as we head down the start-finish straight over the line, Graham to the outside, Mark to the inside. The inside is not always a great place to be here, because you can end up going a little bit deep, as he's done. and immediately cuts back to try and defend, but now Graham's on the outside, which becomes the inside briefly. Graham almost having a go, sort of backs out of it, and then there's a bit more bumper rubbing as they come onto the Wellington straight. This time could be Graham's opportunity. It depends how they are on brakes, because Mark is still there at the moment. They are side by side. I think the Vauxhall might maintain the position as they go on the brakes, and they're actually still closing in on Lee. This time could Graham just keep it on the outside? He can't quite drive all the way around the outside. Mark's got just enough tyre left in hand that he can just outfox Graham at that critical stage, that perfect opportunity. But Mark is defending for all he's worth here, and it is over a podium spot, and Graham's going left and right again. Oh, there's a bang of the wheels. Nothing intentional from either of them, I don't think, but yeah, big bang of the wheels there. Mark actually yet to get on the podium with the Astra this season, so last year's championship protagonist not having quite so much fun in the Astra as he did perhaps in the Renault, although he is driving very, very solidly indeed. He got a 4th, a 6th and a 5th last time out at Donington Park, and he could be on for a podium this time. But this is the final lap. Dave is bringing the BMW round just ahead of Lee. It looks like it's going to be provisionally race win number 4 of the season for BMW man. And as they come up to the line, it is going to be the BMW. Takes its 4th race victory of the season. That looked relatively comfortable after a few laps in. Lee is second, a really good second position, came from a few positions back as well. And Mark is third across the line, but due to track limits infringement, actually Graham takes the podium, so a really good drive from the multiple champ as he heads his way up the field. And Mark has to settle for 4th, but a good result. Sam, a really good solid 5th place. Dom is 6th, Tom is 7th, Andy brings his Astra home in 8th, Martin 9th, and Douglas is going to take the final point in the BMW after being off in the gravel a few times during this race. And then Oz will be just outside the points with Dubs completing the finishes coming up to the line now.